What's going on, everyone? It's Monday, which means it's time for another scale news update. And I wanted to start this week off with the funniest thing I had seen all week, and that is some new servo horns that popped up on eBay. Now, while I would never suggest these for a performance upgrade, if you need a gift for a friend, I've got your link below. Now, next up on the list is a new scale rig from HoBao, or however you're supposed to pronounce it. But this brand, while maybe isn't super well known in our area, has been associated with some pretty quality products in the past. They used to also handle OFNA. So this scale rig could have some possibilities in some ways. Now, they're not familiar with our market, and I think that is evident in some of the design features of this car. But there's also a lot of similarities to this car to some other pretty proven platforms like the Traxxas TRX4, which is a really well-built rig. One part about these axles, though, is they do have some clamping lower link mount styles on there with hardware hanging below the axle. Hopefully just flipping the hardware would make it more usable, but the axles in general, again, are just really busy. Something that these guys make mistakes on all the time when they're new to these markets. In the pictures, we see the battery mounted in two locations, one all the way in the rear, which most of us are not going to like, but one is just behind the transmission laying sideways across the chassis, which would provide a lower center of gravity than that rearward mounted setup. This truck does feature a 2-speed and forward mounted motor, also similar to the Traxxas. I do prefer the gear adjustment on this car compared to Traxxas. However, the gear adjustment that they use is similar to something Traxxas has used in the past. This car is a chassis mounted servo, 3-link with panhard front suspension. The nice thing is that we do have an aluminum panhard mount on the chassis side. So the body is kind of a mix between a Defender and a Mercedes G-Wagon, possibly, I'd say. It does have inner fender wells and then a kind of floorboard that goes along the sliders. The rear battery box kind of closes in between the frame rails in the rear, so they are really trying to enclose the look of this thing for a nice scale appearance. The body isn't necessarily my style, but it looks like it's well done. Again, all of this is very Traxxas-like. And then we do see that they went with the roller skid plate design, which is a gimmick style that, again, it just shows a little bit that they haven't really seen what is important in the market, and they're looking at some of these things that have been done before and they think they should implement them. I think they should have skipped the roller skid plate for sure, though. The axle and gear design looks pretty decent. The axle has a rotated up pinion. It's not a high pinion, just rotated, and we see all metal links on this car. The tires and wheels, nothing to look at there. Not really all that well done. They just put something on there. Overall, this could be a really well done car, being that HoBao has done very well done cars in the past, but we'll just have to see when it hits the market. Also, over the last week, I ran across a little small scale crawler kit that I decided to pick up from GearBest. It's the WPL Hercules, and it retails for just over 30 bucks, but there was also a coupon code that I found called RC18 off that took 18% off, and I got it for $29 shipped. Now, it is a kit version. I figured, let's see how bad it could be for 29 bucks. Overall, the look of this thing looks very reminiscent to a lot of things that we've seen already, just scaled down. It's got clearly Pitbull style tires on it, a Toyota cab. Just a lot of the things on this car are very recognizable to things that we've seen in a larger scale made by other people. But for 29 bucks, let's see how bad it is. We'll do a live build, see how it goes together, and just have some fun. I've wasted a lot more on a lot less. Another little cool product I saw over the last week was a scale subwoofer and amp package for your scale rig. Now, it's a Bluetooth setup from Scale Mob, and it's two separate enclosures with mini subwoofers and an amp that acts as the Bluetooth portal for your phone so you can play your music on the trail. I've seen a lot of people put music in their scale rigs on the trail, but this one, just being an old car audio guy like I am, I found it kind of cool, kind of fun. I'll throw the link in the description below. Some unfortunate news for the hobby was that Hobbyco announced that they're going to be closing their Reno distribution warehouse. All the employees that work there are going to be out of a job. I wish them the best and hope that they find a smooth transition into whatever they're going to next. Another new release this week was RC4WD released a Bilstein series of their scale shock. We've seen a style like this before from them, but now they've got a Bilstein licensed one in an 80, 90, and 100 millimeter. Sorry, no 120 versions for all you Flex Friday fans, but you can find those on their website now and the descriptions below. And lastly, over the last week, we did release the first video of the Honcho budget build. Again, I'm doing that budget build along with Matthew Kett from the Scale Builders Guild. We're both taking the Honcho and upgrading it $50 at a time every week, releasing videos every Wednesday. So if you're interested in seeing both of us take different paths through that budget build, check out those videos in the links below. And I also heard that my new Tamiya dancing rider should be on its way, and I should have it hopefully this coming week. That's another build I'm really looking forward to. That's all the news I have for this week, guys. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you next Monday for another Scale News update.